Welcome back. Today we're going to keep going on with the Super Duty swap, get all the brackets installed, and hopefully get the engine and transmission in there and start mocking up a transmission cross member. So I got some more parts back. I'll show you kind of what I got going on here. I got new rear radius arm brackets. These ones have a little more, have a gusset in them, and then switch some bolt sizing, and also put some extra bolt holes in here and eliminated this tab out here. I thought I was going to use that for transmission cross member, but it's actually going to be in the way, so we'll end up using some of these other bolts holes that I added to here. What else? We got track bar, this heavy guy here. This one's made out of 3/8 steel because that track bar needs to be super beefy. The factory one on these Super Duties is like 1/2-inch cast steel, so went ahead with 3/8 A36. Should be good. Have some extra gussets to gusset to the steering box and also to this bracket here. The reason you need that is, I don't know if you can see it here, but this whole frame kind of wobbles back and forth, so that track bar locates the axle in there. And then say you got a 1,200-pound diesel engine and your 500-pound automatic transmission, your cab and everything, when you're going around a corner, that bracket is doing the horizontal acceleration, so to speak, of accelerating you around that corner, changing your direction. And so all that force going horizontally through the axle is being held by this bracket back and forth. So it needs to be beef. Next thing we got here is a steering box bracketry, and then a gusset. We'll get this off of here. Got a gusset that go in here. It'll help strengthen this up when we start mounting the steering box. Have a plate. We'll have to cut some of this out, weld that plate in there, and we also got some spacer washers to get everything located correctly. And another thing I came up with is a little template here, which will go through those bolt holes there, and that'll locate where we need to drill the holes on the frame. Showed you this guy. This one I already installed. We're gonna go over and show you the installation of that on this side here. So to aid in installing this new bracket here, we got 2 new holes here that need to be drilled in the frame. You can't really use that bracket to locate from underneath because stuff gets in the way. So created these templates. This will go on the side like so, and then you have two new holes locating. I tried out a new feature here with like a center hole to help start the hole in there drilling, and then you can enlarge it up, and hopefully that'll all work out. Seemed to work out pretty good on that side, so we'll try it again on this side. This neat little feature to help ease the installation here. Something else you're probably seeing here are these axle dollies. These are something I came up with. Got them on all 4 corners. It's really nice because now I can move this whole thing around however I want, and it makes positioning stuff working in here a lot easier than trying to do it with just the tires. It would have been a lot easier putting these axles in there with these carts on there versus just, you saw me in one of the last videos trying to manhandle that rear axle in there. So definitely a nice tool. I will be selling these. I'll put a link in the description if you want to email me. Don't have pricing down quite yet. These ones just have Super Duty bolt pattern. I think the ones I start selling are going to have dual with the 8x6.5 and the 8x170. So they'll work no matter what series of Ford truck you're working on. I can also, thinking about maybe doing them in 5-lug and maybe 6-lug for the Chevy guys. But it's pretty much a build-it-yourself kit. It'll just come plates, and then it all kind of has holes and stuff. You put it together, weld it up, and then you buy the casters off of Amazon. And I think I made sure I got one, so each corner should be rated at 2,000 pounds, give or take. But yeah, if you're interested in something like that, you can go ahead and send me an email. Something else, this is we're gonna have to remake it because got some stuff wrong with this. Was a prototype cab cart. So the idea would be able to bolt the cab on top of this, move it around inside here, make it easy to work on. 2 things need to change are the height. It was way too tall. I'm gonna make it about half as high, and then had some dimensions wrong on the rear cab mounts. But otherwise, I'll show you again later once I actually get the other one remade and show you how it works out. But I think that's kind of it for the updates on what I got done. I think next I'm going to put you on tripod, time-lapse, or at least show you some more details of getting this new bracket installed on here. And then we'll move over to the steering box and track bar. Alright, so we're going to work on getting the bracket on this side. Going to use this alignment tool here, and it will line up with that hole there, and then with these inner existing cross member holes. And what's going to provide us is this nice pilot hole for both holes that we need to drill. So I'll go ahead and get that bolted up on there and get those drilled out. So those bottom holes are drilled. Now we can unbolt this template, get this bracket bolted on there, and drill some more holes. So now we moved over to the steering box and the track bar mount. I'm going to start with locating the steering box bracket. We will have to cut away the frame here, and it will go in kind of like so. To help locate that, we have this template here which locates off of those two bolt holes there and then positions us to drill holes into the frame for that steering box. So we're going to go ahead and get this bolted up there, aligned, and do some holes for that. Alright, so I got these drilled out to about a 1/2 inch. They'll have to be stepped up a little bit bigger. I'm pretty sure the bolts we're using are 14 millimeter, so not quite going through there yet. So we'll wait to get more stuff mounted up before we finish drilling those out. But we'll go ahead and take this bracket off here and start working on the next part. So I attempted to bolt this up here onto the frame, but I'm running into some clearance issues, and I think it's because this bracket didn't get bent correctly on the right line. So going to make some adjustments to it, maybe make it a little bit easier for the manufacturing people to actually bend it correctly and get it remade, and hopefully the new one will bolt up on here correctly. So I guess until then, might go ahead and try getting the engine and transmission in here and work on mocking up a cross member. So it's been a few months since that last clip. Had some life happen, so I took a break from doing some of the YouTube recording, but I've still been working on this, and I'll go ahead and show you some of the stuff I've been working on, what progress I've made, and then moving forward on these videos, I'll probably do less detailed stuff and just kind of more of an overview of the work I'm doing, just because hasn't been getting a lot of views, so maybe just like a broader overreach instead of detailed of exactly what I'm doing might interest you guys more. So I'll show you what I've been working on here. So to start with, I got the engine transmission here. From the last video, you saw me put together this engine. Still some work to be done with it. Right now working on getting some roller rockers set up. Got to measure the push rods, and going to be changing this up a bit. Originally I was going to be doing the factory Ford EFI. I think I'm going to ditch that. Several reasons. One of them is you can't really tune it easily anymore. There's not a lot of companies that support that, so I'm going to go with the aftermarket standalone. Plus with these roller rockers, got to do a larger valve cover, and the factory Ford overhang intake won't clear with the taller rockers. So anyway, probably going to go with the new Sniper 2. It'd be nice if I could get a sponsorship, but anyway, another topic. Moving on here, got a cross member designed, got the transmission transfer case in here, figuring out some drive shaft clearance. I'm going to be taking this out and redoing this, 'cause this sticks out here a little bit and so I'm going to make that flush and get more clearance from my front drive shaft, because right now it clears but it just barely touches the gusseting in here. So I'm going to fix that. Haven't really done much with the rear here. Was working on a bracket for the rear shocks, kind of the factory brackets in here, and this is 3D printed, so that will kind of go up in there and grab that. And then I have one that's going to relocate that shock because that goes right to where the gas tank is, so if I move it to the front, that all should work on the back. Still kind of working away on this front track bar. It's been kind of a headache trying to get everything to work and line up, but I think I got a path forward. Did some cutting out here for a steering box. We'll see how that turns out. This is all kind of prototype stuff. The idea is to put it all in relation to where it's supposed to be factory. I could have moved it over here, but that would have kind of thrown off some things. So I'm trying to put it where it would be geometry-wise for Super Duty. I will have some gussets coming out here. We'll see how that turns out. Just be test driving and seeing. Since I'm going to be remaking these rear radius arm brackets, I'm going to go ahead and remake these. I'm going to put like a 45 angle, just kind of look a little bit better. Get some of this crap off of here. And then kind of redo some of the mounting and stuff for that shock. And then change some bolt holes and stuff. I got a bump stop in here. Need to go ahead and take the springs out, lower that down, make sure that is going to work. But yeah, it's kind of pecking away at things. Still got some other things to work at. Once I get the engine buttoned up, I'll probably end up pulling the transmission off and working on that, because I still need to replace the input shaft on that. Then once that's done, that will kind of go together, because I don't think, there's no clutch or flywheel on that. That was just kind of bolted up to set on there. So that's just kind of a quick overview of what I've been doing. I do have a website set up with some parts. I probably showed you earlier in this video, the cab roller cart kits. I got those finalized for single cab and super cab. Those are on there, and hopefully soon I'll have aluminum glove boxes available. I'll put a link to the website in the description. It's muntzmotorsports.com. So that stuff will be available, and then I'll keep putting more stuff on there. I'll show you quick over here. This is something else I'm working on right now. We got the Super Duty Hydro Boost, and then this is factory dent side Ford vacuum boost. Working on bracketry to bolt this onto the cab and make it all work with the right alignment and stuff like that. So that'll be coming, brackets for that. So still making stuff, getting the business going, stuff like that. Got another project coming that I'll start posting some videos of. It's going to be a 78 Super Cab onto an 08 F550 chassis with a 6-liter. So build a tow rig to tow some of the stuff around. I got some other projects working on, planning on once kind of get this sorted out. So yeah, it's kind of sum it up for this one. The next one will just kind of be a next progression of some of the other stuff. Hopefully get some of this front suspension, steering and stuff finalized, get the transmission finished up, and maybe some more suspension on the rear, maybe start setting some cabs and stuff on here. So see you guys later.